just catch up on the last little bit of work, and then a few days off. Feels good. Okay, I can't talk too loudly because I'm actually babysitting at this moment in time, and he's fast asleep. Now, one of the most common questions I get asked as a photographer, as a videographer, as a creator who owns a camera, what lens should I buy? If I was to go out and buy a camera, what lens should I buy? Or I've got these lenses, what lens should I buy instead though? There's a lot of choice. There's so many lenses out there, different brands, different apertures. Do you want a zoom lens? Do you want a prime lens? Do you want a tilt shift? Do you want a macro lens? I could be here hours. I've done many videos about different lenses that I use and where I use them. Now I think this video will need a coffee, so let's go make a coffee before we begin. Afternoon. How are we all? Oh no, you're a good boy, aren't you? Yes. This stuff is amazing. You see, you can make coffee and be a YouTuber, but not go full on all out like Peter McKinnon. It's not proper Starbucks, is it? Not even anything like Starbucks. It's in the Starbucks mug. Starbucks ain't that great anyway. So, lenses. There's so many you could choose from, and there's so much information on the internet saying what lens you should buy for what job and what lens a beginner photographer should buy. But I don't quite think that that information is 100% correct. I feel like there's a lot of misconception when it comes to lenses and what lens you should actually buy. Now obviously, depending on what kind of photography you want to do, it will kind of give you a direction of what lens to go down, because you're not going to use something like a 16-35 to shoot wildlife, and you're not going to use a 100-400 to shoot vlogs. It obviously just doesn't work. It's not wide enough. But then do you go down the route of having a prime lens? Do you go down the route of having a zoom lens? If you have a zoom lens, do you get a variable aperture one? Do you get an f4? Do you get an f2.8? Or if you use Canon RF lenses, do you go for an f2? This is far too hot for me to drink right now. I should probably go check on Kenny, to be fair. I've been down here for like 3 minutes. Let's go. Now when I first bought a camera, I bought a Sony A7 and it came with a kit lens. If you buy any kind of camera body, you can normally get a kit lens to fit it. It normally comes in a package, and going into photography, that's the only lens I thought I needed. I've woke him up. There was only one lens I thought I needed, and I was so wrong. But as a beginner photographer, you may not know what you're actually going to be shooting. You're not actually really going to know what you're going to enjoy shooting. And you have to start somewhere. You may think, yeah, I want to do portraits. Yeah, I want to do weddings. Yeah, I really want to do wildlife. But do you really want to go spend £4,000 on a camera, which you may not actually really enjoy? Now, this could be one of them videos where I say, you must go out and buy a 24-70 f2.8 this second. It's a very good lens, regardless, but you don't need that to become a photographer. You don't need that to get the best photos. And how do I know that? Because I only used a kit lens for the first year and a half before I actually replaced it to be a 24-70 f2.8. I used a 28-70 with a variable aperture of like 3.5 to 5.6, and I shot weddings on that. I got my first full-time job using just that lens and a Sony A7, just the Mark 1, nothing else. I wonder if it's cool enough now. It's good, it's all right, it's not bad. Not the best coffee in the world. I think this just reinforces the fact that gear is not everything. You can go out and buy the best lens, you can go out and buy the best camera, but if you don't know how to use them, it won't make you a better photographer, it won't make you a better video maker, it won't make you a better creator. And that's the thing we all want. We want to be better creators. I see some great videos just on this platform with people who shot on an iPhone and just a lapel mic. They have more subscribers than I do, they have more views than I do, and they have a bigger audience than what I do. To be a creator, to be a photographer, it takes time and it takes practice. So what can you take away from this video? Well, I would say, doesn't matter what lens you have. If you buy a new camera today and have a kit lens, stick with the kit lens until you feel comfortable shooting them photos. If you're not sure whether you want to go down the prime lens route or the zoom lens route, then just use what you've got and see how you find it. If you're using a zoom lens, you'll learn to see what focal length you like using. And if you want to buy prime lens, such as the 35, a 50, an 85, then you can go out and buy one of them once you know exactly what you want to use or what you want to shoot. I see so many photographers online who say, I went out and bought a 55mm f1.8 today and don't really like it. It's not really for me. And I've been one of them people before. I've gone out and bought a 50mm f1.8 and I actually really don't like the lens I have. Not because it's a 50mm f1.8, I think it looks great, but it's because it's the lens I bought and I thought, yeah, let's just go out and buy that, and I regret that so much. So the only lens that you need as a beginner photographer or as any photographer is the lens that you probably already have. Learn to use it, learn the skills that you require, and then go out. Kenny agrees. And then once you are comfortable, then think about going out and buying something a little nicer, going down the route you actually want to go down. If you enjoyed the video, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for joining me for coffee. Appreciate it.